Hi friends, today I'm going to do the Five of Pentacles or coins with the Rider-Waite Tarot and give my interpretations of upright and reversed. So here we go. So we have the Five of Pentacles, and here's a really good look at it real quick. Now 5 is halfway through the journey, and 5s kind of have to do with a sense of isolation anyway, but this is halfway through the journey, and even though this is obviously not a very fun card, this is necessary. This is not negative. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I was doing a reading for my cousin's girlfriend, and she drew this card, and then she like freaked out and started to put it back into the deck, and she was like, reshuffle again. And I was like, no. Just because, you know, you draw this card that is hard, it doesn't mean it's negative. And because it's necessary, this is don't do that. I mean, if you're gonna do tarot cards, you gotta, you know, be able to embrace the journey, and parts of the journey are hard, obviously. So, no reshuffling. I draw cards all the time that I might not necessarily want, but I'm going to still put them under my pillow anyway and work with that energy because it's all necessary. So, you know, this is the journey is the destination. This is the hard part of the journey. So this is, you know, Pentacles having to do with the material plane. This is hardships, but in a real sense. These people are poor, sick. This gentleman here, he's walking on crutches, and I know it's hard to see, but he has a little bell around his neck, and that's because in the old times they used to have the lepers wear bells around their necks to let other people know they were coming. Get out of the way. So that is, he's like a leper, and he's blind as well, because he's got his face kind of like looking up, except he's not actually looking anywhere. He's got his eyes closed. And she's barefoot with a shawl, and it's snowing, right, as you could see in the background here in the card. And the snow kind of is, to me, the snow is covering the physical or the spiritual aspects of our lives. Because these people are also dressed in these very earthy tones. All they see right now is the hardships of the physical plane. They don't see the spirituality in that. And, you know, it is hard to feel spiritual. I mean, one of the ideas I like is Maslow's hierarchy of needs. So you're not really going to be able to spiritually focus if you're, you know, if you're just trying to survive. I really think that makes a lot of sense. You can only focus really on that at a time where you're able to have a safe place to reflect. So, but these people don't have that, so that's not what they see. And that is understandable. But hopefully that when they come out of this, they can look back and say, oh, it looks better here. They can look back on this and say, hey, I learned from my sense of struggle, and they can be more empathetic to people, others that will go through this time. Now, you know, upright, it's really a reminder here. Ask for help if you need help. You are not alone, and if you choose to not ask for help, others are struggling. You know, the man and the woman don't see each other, even though they're walking together. People are on the same struggles. There are people who understand, and if you reach out for help, this will be a lot less of a lonely point in the journey, okay? Another thing I'd like to sort of point out for me is that the church with the stained glass, this is like a little anchor that the pentacles or coins are on, and that has to do with this struggle. This struggle is really anchoring them to the physical plane. And once again, struggle is necessary for growth. This is not a good or a bad card. It is struggle, and it is necessary, and it's beautiful. There's no such thing as a negative card. They, and you can ask for help. Now, sorry, as I was mentioning, the structure of the church kind of representing that spirituality is being ignored, but it could be available. But I also like to think that if this is a building here, at this time in your life, if you're really struggling to get your basic needs met, you could ask for some government help. I'm not talking about riding off the daddy government for the rest of your life, or that's not what I'm trying to do here. But what I am saying is that if this is appropriate to help you get back on your feet and get your needs met, don't be afraid to ask or seek out. And I'm talking about therapy, psychotherapy, government assistance for food, health insurance. Seek out these different answers. Don't let pride or some other misguided conception stand in the way, because the sooner you get back on your feet, or you address your problems and you take care of your physical needs, the sooner you can continue on your journey. And you've had this experience that, during this time, right? Another thing to think about. This is a good time, because this is our Pentacles. Learn how to make a budget. You'll kind of really see how much money you're wasting when like if I've been kind of rich and poor myself, been both of those. Back when I was growing up, and my father would just give money, and I'd go blow that money on like Starbucks and lip gloss and NSYNC CDs. Boy, was that a waste of money. I could have made, my own coffee. Now, of course, I have the internet. I'm not going to listen to CDs and stuff, but by just making my own coffee every day, think about how much money that adds up to be, right? Yeah, you're still spending money, but it's so much less. Every day when you do that, or every day when you go through the drive-thru, you're not adhering to a budget. Of course, unless if you say fast food once a day is in my budget. But you guys get the idea that this is a great time in the struggle to learn a really deep lesson about how to better take care of yourself. That way, when you get back on your feet, you've really, you've got those smarts that you've developed of ways to take care of yourself that isn't dependent on others. Now, I want you to ask for help, but I want you to be able to know that this Five of Pentacles is also the time where you're learning skills on your own. You're learning to cook better, make these budgets, learn about some house projects. Whatever the situation is that has made it so you have to learn this stuff, it's a good thing to be a complete individual. It's very empowering, and I love it. I love tarot, and I love the journey. The journey really is the destination. There's no bad card. I am not going to reshuffle. Your cards are my cards. These are all worth a look. So there's that. Ask for help. Think of these things that are tied to the real world and that kind of sense. Now, my interpretation of reversed. These are just some things. We're going to look at the other cards, feel out your querent and see, what you kind of pick up on that energy. And if you don't want to do it that way, just look at the cards if that's your thing. Reversed. To me, this is possibly a codependent relationship. The one person gives so much to the point where they can't see their own physical needs met, and they just, like, it's almost like a sense of enabling an addict, or just they don't have any identity, so they invest their entire identity in somebody else. It's a codependent relationship. Somebody says you suck, you're not good enough for me, but yet, cheer up and I love you, and it's that sort of mental abuse, I guess. That's what this is. Another thing that I would like to say is that I think it can represent when people are going to stop doing drugs. So if it's reversed, they're walking away from this. It's the people you think are your friends, they're not really your friends, because your relationship is revolved around criminal activity, drugs, something like that. That, yeah, maybe the querent can talk to them, but they're not really your friends. And same thing, in any kind of sense, if whoever's around the querent, they're not really your friend. They're not going to be there for you when you're going to need your physical needs met. Now, reverse this also is, you reach out for help to a family member, and let's just say they're in poor health themselves, or they're poor, and they cannot help you at this time, and you take that as a real sense of isolation, and let that kind of ruin the rest of your relationship with them. Just realize, guys, that sometimes other people are in the same Five of Pentacles, and they're not able to help you. So just kind of take a step back and realize that as well, that other people we all are going to go through this Five of Pentacles. So yeah, that real sense of that. Yeah, more upright is kind of more like this is actively happening. Reversed is either that there's just this really codependent or wrong relationship that's not really somebody who's your friend, or can also mean that this part of your life is lessened because you've reached out for help, and the attachments to other people you have are now going to pay off, and it's kind of lessening the blow of this Five of Pentacles a little bit. But the Five of Pentacles is very important to go through. And remember, this is spiritual too. When you leave the Five of Pentacles, later as you develop your spirituality, what's making your spirituality is kind of your sense of the fight, right? These things that we're talking about. People being in poor health, addiction, struggling to have basic comfort. You think about that when you become spiritual later. And so it's reminding us and that we're not ever truly alone. These people are lower consciousness. The struggle might feel just like it's a really bad time, but our higher consciousness right here knows that this struggle is really food for the soul. And if you you're going to have to resolve that in some way. If you resolve that, it really will build your spiritual character later on in the journey. And it's the halfway point of the journey of the Pentacles. So that is what this is. It's like halfway there. Now remember, these people are that's the last thing I'll say. These people are still moving. This is the journey. We're keeping going, keep on trucking, keep moving forward. We've got the Six of Pentacles up ahead. We've got so much more to go, and this is a splendid part of the journey that helps build us. Take care, guys. I'll see you later.